Welcome. It's time again. I had to come on and make another video. A couple of my friends are getting really bummed out and panicked at how can Bitcoin be at 123, 124,000, drop all the way down to 115, and how's MicroStrategy go from $451 to trading at right now $406, and yada 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 yada. Ye have such little faith. With MicroStrategy and Bitcoin, you have to have a little bit of time preference. Yes, Michael Saylor's been hitting the ATM on MSTR, and I'm glad he has been. MSTR, the volatility of it was getting a little too low. Make those market makers wonder whether it's going up or down. I don't really care. I'm selling covered calls against my positions. And I know that when we look at the numbers, other than just the current prices, which is right now, as I'm making this, MicroStrategy on Friday, the 25th, is trading at $406.23. As you can see, Bitcoin is trading at 100 and what was that right now? 116,230 or something. And $1 will get you 860 sats, or turn it around the right way, 860 sats will get you $1. But that's not the important thing. Let's take a look here at my other screen just for a second. Now, on the left, you'll see a Bitcoin chart, and it's really not the right Bitcoin chart. That's by the minute. So let's change that to do a range by months, and then we'll go back 5 years, and then we'll shift this thing down to where you're seeing what transpired over 5 years. And let's turn off all this fancy stuff, and let's blow this up and run this up so you can see it a little better. There you go. Now, this is 5 years ago. This right here is around where I was first buying. Let's see, right around here was where I was first buying Bitcoin. And it went up, and it went down, and it went up, and it went down, and it went up, and it went down. And then it went sideways for a really long time, and then it shot way the hell up, and then went down and up and down and up, going sideways, then went way the hell up and hit like 107,000, went all the way down, and everybody was panicking at 75,000. And then it went up to a high of 123,218. And now it's back to 116. Well, in case you haven't figured that out, that's just on a nice gradual up path. And it's only going to get faster. Everybody wants Bitcoin. They can't all have it. There's just 21 million coins. 3 or 4 million are lost. 4 or 5 million haven't even been mined yet. So there's a limited supply of Bitcoin out there. Now, MicroStrategy is rumored through its new stretch offering this week that it will probably be buying $2.5 billion worth of Bitcoin this week. And that's not to mention the fact that I really think that it's a good possibility they've been hitting the ATM on the regular stock, which is why it's down around $406. Now, if you notice the chart on the right is showing MicroStrategy. When I first bought it, right here, let's see, this isn't showing far back enough. Let me go to the monthly chart, and you'll see that when I started buying MicroStrategy, right around here on the chart, that let me do a little magnify bit here. Well, that don't work. Okay, you notice I bought it, and then it took off and hit that high of about 500. Then it dropped huge in one day, and then it's went down, and then it's come back up, and now it's where it is right there. But on general, it's in a channel going straight up. And it looks like that channel by the end of the year is going to be over, the top of the channel is going to be well over $600, closer to $700 by the end of the year. Now, I'm no Nostradamus, but for you people who are so worried about it, quit thinking about this as being a short-term trade like you trade the QQQs or the SPY. You get in, you get committed, and you watch number go up, and you will do okay. You just have to have a little faith. Now, I know there's so many channels out there that spend a ton of time finding all these clips and doing all the fancy editing, and man, they do a really good job. But to be honest, I'm just an old guy here who been doing it and has conviction. I've got well over 90% of everything I own in either Bitcoin or MicroStrategy or some other play on Bitcoin. I don't play the QQQs and the SPY and do all that baloney. There is no second best. If you look at the rate of return, since I started buying MicroStrategy in about March of 2021, I've done very well. Same with Bitcoin. I've done very well. No other asset does better. So don't panic when you get a little bit of a downturn like this. Before you blink, MicroStrategy will be back up at $450 a share. And then it's going to $600 and $700. And who knows where from there. But you know, Bitcoin is going to have MicroStrategy report their earnings next week, and they're going to go from losses into making billions of dollars in the quarter. Billions of dollars in the quarter. Wall Street will take notice, and for MicroStrategy, sooner or later, they're going to get admitted into the S&P 500, which means they'll get millions of dollars worth of inflow on a passive basis. All those people who put their 401ks into the S&P 500 will be investing in Bitcoin and in MicroStrategy so they get their Bitcoin exposure through MicroStrategy. That's millions and millions of dollars worth of buy pressure coming in. There's a lot of people who are shorting MicroStrategy, saying this is some sort of Ponzi scheme. Well, that's just, they're just as ignorant saying that as the people who a few years ago, and even some today, who say that Bitcoin has no intrinsic value. I always laugh at that. I always laugh when Peter Zion, or whatever his name is, supposedly macro politically so astute individual on YouTube, gets on there and says, there's no intrinsic value in Bitcoin. Well, people have put over $1 trillion of real hard-earned fiat cash into buying Bitcoin, into mining Bitcoin. Even the miners, they spend millions of dollars a month paying for electricity and computer equipment, mining equipment, and all the things that go along with it. So, intrinsic value, people have put intrinsic value into Bitcoin. It's just a joke. People don't understand. And sooner or later, the people who short MicroStrategy, the famous Jim Chanos says he's shorting MicroStrategy and buying his own Bitcoin with the money he gets. He's liable to get the raw end of that deal. The people, at least if you're going to short MicroStrategy, you should go buy your own Bitcoin. That's the only chance you got. I'm not sure that that'll work for that individual, but it won't stop MicroStrategy from going up. And now that he's got the 4 preferred products that he can sell, Strike, Strife, and Stretch. Those are just more ways that people are going to give MicroStrategy money to buy more Bitcoin so that the underlying MSTR product goes up. I fully expect the end of the year us to be around $600 to $700 on MicroStrategy price. So buying at $400 in July seems like probably a pretty good idea to me if you have my level of conviction. So if you're going away on this Friday afternoon and you're feeling like, oh my God, what's wrong with Bitcoin and how come it's not going up and what's wrong with MicroStrategy and how could it drop from 451 just 10 days ago back down to 406? That's the market. Learn how to sell options, make a lot of money. You know, you can do it. Admittedly, you can lose money at it too if you don't know what you're doing. But you can educate yourself just like you had to do on Bitcoin. If you've educated yourself on Bitcoin, if you watched enough videos, if you read enough books, if you thoroughly understand just how broken the monetary system is in the world today, not just the United States, in the world, how the U.S. government has intentionally, through their actions, depressed the value of the U.S. dollar, not debased, depressed. I mean, don't get me wrong. It costs me way more money to bring money from the United States and transfer it into Thai baht now than it did before Trump was elected. I guess that's a side effect of change for the better. But that's also because of those tariffs, which is a good thing. by lowering the strength of the US dollar, he's made the ability of US manufacturers and US agricultural products and their export to be more affordable and more competitive, exporting it to the world market. It works the other way around. If you're selling something in the United States, you're going to do real well. So anyway, that was my pep talk for today. I hope you all have a good tomorrow, and look at the sunny side. Look for the stars at night and look for the sun during the day, because you're going to live a long and happy life if you look for the upside all the time. And if you don't look for the downside all the time, it's a whole lot better. Everything's not easy, you know what I mean? Hold on a second, let me see what I'm doing here. I don't know what I'm doing here. Oh well. I should know this better. But I'm not. Anyway. Well, cheer up. Pass on some good karma. There's a lot of bad things happening in the world, and we all need to fix the money, fix the world, because it seems like the only three things people want to go to war for are land, money, and religion. Can't do much about the religion, can't do much about the land, but we can fix the money. Invest in Bitcoin while you still can, because it's going to 1 million sooner than you think.
That's all, folks.